So what's the great big deal with learning how to go cruising? You buy a boat, you move on, and you leave. That's all there is to it, right? Not quite so fast. Hi, I'm Nika Waters, and welcome to the Boat Galley Podcast. I'm talking about two different aspects of learning to cruise, and maybe some ideas as to where you might start to get some experience. Today's episode of the Boat Galley Podcast is sponsored by Lunatech, and particularly their Kickstarter for a new hydration spray lid. This adds a mister, shower, bidet, and drinking to their Hydro Flask and other insulated bottles, so you can have hot or cold pressurized water all day long. All day long, cold water for cooling and drinking. All day long, hot water for cleaning dishes and people. It's amazing, and it's only $20 on Kickstarter right now. It's kickstarter.com/projects/Lunatech/Hydro Flask-Mister. You can also see a link in the show notes. But grab this new incredible hydration spray lid for your insulated water bottle today. And certainly, learning about gear like the Lunatech hydration spray lid, that's an important part of learning how to cruise. But more to the point, that adds to the first thing that I want to talk about, which is learning to go cruising is first and foremost about learning how to live on a boat. And if you haven't lived on a boat before, there are small things and big things that aren't quite as simple as I move aboard and I get going. You're dealing with different kinds of storage. You're dealing with movement that you might not be used to. Certainly, I hope you're not used to it in a house. You're dealing with small spaces. You're dealing with really probably the fact that most of the time you may have visual privacy, but you don't have audio privacy. And so if somebody's in the head, you can hear the head noises and you just have to pretend that you don't. There are times on a boat where you can't get out because the weather's terrible, and learning how to live on a boat and live with that, that's a part of cruising and learning how to cruise that's really hard to teach because you need time on the boat. You need time on the boat with the people you're going to be on the boat with, and making that lifestyle and how to live that life something that is not impossible for you. So that's one aspect of learning how to cruise that probably isn't one that you've thought about a whole lot. And of course, the next aspect of learning how to cruise is actually how to do it. All of the ins and outs of things like weather and systems and taking care of the boat and how to move and picking anchorages and where to anchor and what your budget is like and how to go to the marina and how to time the tides and how to fix the solar panels and how to change the oil on your engine or how to successfully navigate a haul out in some place that you're not used to. All of those things are also part of learning how to cruise. And where the first part of living on the boat, really the only way that you can get that experience and learn how to do it is by actually doing it. The second part, learning how to do the ins and outs of what that cruising thing looks like, you can tackle that a number of different ways. Of course, you can move onto your boat, learn how to live on your boat, and learn how to go cruising by watching some YouTube videos, by taking courses. The Boat Galley has tons and tons of courses about all different aspects of living aboard and going cruising. And I would strongly suggest that you take a look at that and just see, particularly if you are an online learner. That's a great place to go. You can sign up with cruising coaches like the people at Sailing Totem and talk to them and get insights. These are people who have circumnavigated and they have lots and lots of insights in an incredible way. Plus they have an amazing community of other coaching clients where you get to learn and hear from other people who started where you are and now are successfully out cruising. You can take classes, in-person classes. In the States, you've got ASA levels of various kinds that take you through courses and sort of practical tips of how to actually sail, but then also longer ones where you're going offshore and you're learning about weather and systems and those sorts of things. You can choose to do an experiential cruise on a company like Morse Alpha Expeditions or a 59 North something or a John Kretschmer Sailing There are a number of these, and look to see whether those expedition type sailing aspects make sense for you and understand what it is that they're teaching, because each one of them is going to focus on something different. They're going to have their niche and their specialty and the things that they find important and things to think about, which is why taking more than one of those is not a bad way to learn how to cruise too. You can hire someone to teach you how to cruise on your own boat. You could have them come on the boat for a set period of time. This might be a U.S. Coast Guard licensed captain would be a good way to go. And somebody with teaching experience would also be a really good way to go. And you can have them come on your boat and teach you how to cruise on your actual boat, which might be a pretty great way to learn how to go cruising, like cruising with mentorship actually on board. So learning how to cruise has lots and lots of different angles to it and perspectives. There are the two main aspects of learning how to cruise, and one is learning how to live on the boat. And the second is learning the practical, everyday ins and outs of cruising, actually taking that boat and moving from place to place. There are lots and lots of different ways to learn both of these. Although I will say that if you're going to learn how to live on a boat, really the only way to do that is to live on the boat. You can get some ideas ahead of time, but until you've actually done it, it's really hard to learn except by doing. And the other, the practical day-to-day tips, you can take classes. You can go have experiences. You can do online learning. Lots of options for that. All in all, though, the best way to learn how to go cruising is actually to go cruising. And a trick for that is to slow down. Don't feel like you have to do everything all at once, because one of the things that I love about the cruising lifestyle is that it is one of constant learning. There's always something new to learn. There's always something that you can improve. There's always a little bit of tweak and learn, which makes it never, ever boring. I can't wait to share an Anchorage with you when we're both out there living this incredible lifestyle and we get to toast to our good fortune and all the hard work that went into getting to that very place. Thank you so much for listening to the Boat Galley podcast. We love hearing from our listeners. We love it when you leave us a review, and we love it when you share us with your friends, because that always helps other people find us. I hope you have the most spectacular week, and happy, happy, happy Thanksgiving.